Good morning, televiewers, and happy week starts from us at My Media Prime Television. You're on to your favorite bilingual program, The Brief, dedicated to the review of striking headlines in the papers. And on today's edition of the program, the papers are telling us that the head of government, Chief Dr. Joseph Diangote, has unveiled Cameroon's development plan for 2022. That was at the National Assembly on Friday during a special plenary where the Prime Minister presented to the lawmakers the budget or the 2022 budget and the listing priority projects or areas that his government will be targeting in 2022. We shall equally tell you about a 13-year-old child that has been shot dead reportedly by a military commander in Ngoa subdivision of Ndonga Mountain Division, Northwest region of Cameroon. And elections at Fecafoot, 6 candidates known. The list was made public on Thursday by the Electoral Commission of the Fecafoot in Yaoundé. And the top on the list were Samuel Eto'o and the interim president of Fecafoot, Seydou Mbombo Njoya. Let's go find out what the French newspapers gather for us this morning with Bomotonguina. Gwladys. Bonjour Gwladys et bon début de la semaine.
Merci beaucoup Lasha. Bonjour à toi, bonjour à vous qui nous regardez et merci de nous retrouver pour Debrief, votre émission bilingue de revue de presse sur Ma Media Prime Télévision. Alors ce matin, nous allons débuter avec le journal L'Anecdote qui parle de la dépravation des mœurs au Cameroun, la sonnette d'alarme du gouvernement. En effet, au cours d'une communication donnée le week-end dernier, René-Emmanuel Sadi fustige l'attitude de certains citoyens qui se livrent à la diffusion sur les réseaux sociaux des vidéos obscènes, heurtant la morale et la décence. Les détails sont en page 4 de ce journal. En page 3, le journal parle du silence des ONG internationales au sujet de la crise anglophone. Nous continuons ce matin avec l'économie, le journal L'économie qui parle du budget du Cameroun 2022, la priorité du gouvernement, le programme économique, financier, social et culturel du Cameroun a été présenté vendredi dernier à l'Assemblée nationale par Joseph Diangote. Les détails sont en page 3 de ce journal. En page 5, le journal parle des 17 propositions qu'ont fait les députés pour reconstruire le nord-ouest et le sud-ouest. Nous continuons ce matin avec l'œil du Sahel qui parle du mauvais état des routes dans l'Adamawa. Les détails sont en page 4 de ce journal. En page 5, le journal parle aussi de la reconstruction du nord-ouest et du sud-ouest. Les SABC offrent 1 milliard de francs CFA. Nous terminons ce matin avec le journal L'Entrepreneur qui parle de l'entreprise Golfcam. En effet, au moment où Golfing, l'ancienne structure pétrolière, devient Golfcam, tous les Camerounais sont rassurés que c'est un plus dans la promotion de l'emploi dans notre pays. Les détails sont donc en page 8 et 9 de ce journal. En page 2, le journal parle de la chicha, les soupçons. Le gouvernement redouble d'efforts pour stopper la prolifération de la chicha dans la jeunesse camerounaise. C'est ici que nous nous arrêtons pour cette revue de presse en langue française. Place à la découverte de ces journaux en langue anglaise avec toi, Lasha.
Merci Bomotonguina. Gwladys. Let's kickstart with Cameroon Insider newspaper. Cameroon Insider is focusing this morning on the outing of Prime Minister Chief Dr. Joseph Diangote at Parliament on Friday, listing or unveiling government's priority areas for the budget of 2022. Government unveils 2022 budget priorities. The head of government on Friday at the National Assembly presented government's plan of action for the 2022 budget, which stands at CFA 5,752.4 billion francs, and the proposed budget, which is up by CFA 272 billion from that of last year, that's 2021, was tabled in Parliament on Thursday. Members of the Committee on Finance and the Budget have already begun working on the document. More details in this edition of Cameroon Insider newspaper. and rampant sexual deviance on social media. Ex-government communication minister and government spokesperson Rene Emmanuel Sadi addressed this phenomenon and other social vices in a press briefing in Yaoundé on Friday. More details on this edition of the newspaper on page 12. Let's talk about the list of candidates to vie for the post of president. See at Fekafood elections. Here come the contenders. 6 candidates were confirmed last Thursday by the Electoral Commission of Fekafood, with 2 candidates knocked out. And the paper is telling us that the projects of the various candidates and their proposals for Cameroon football is all contained in this edition of Cameroon Insider. And the top on the list of those to run for the presidency of Fekafood is former Indomitable Lions captain Samuel Etofis and the interim president of Fekafood, Seydou Mbombo Njoya. On to News Watch. News Watch is focusing on what happened at Ekondo Titi Government Bilingual High School. UN says Ekondo Titi School attacked serious violation of international human rights, and the Ekondo Titi traditional rulers all on countries hosting Ambazonia, or call on country hosting Ambazonia separatist leaders to take action. And the CBC executive president commits perpetrators in the hands of God and allow them to be judged by the Almighty God. You can get more details in this edition of News Watch newspaper. The reconstruction and the development for the northwest and southwest regions of Cameroon has gotten a CFA 1.2 billion. We are told that the private sector has helped the reconstruction plan with over 1.2 billion francs CFA, and the money is coming to boost the already reconstruction plan that is ongoing in those 2 English-speaking regions of the country. The private sector, we are told, just pumped in 1.2 billion francs CFA to the Paul Tasson-led Reconstruction Commission of the Northwest and Southwest regions of the country. On to this other headline in the Guardian Post newspaper, talking about this atrocity committed allegedly by the military in Ngwa subdivision. Military commander allegedly kills 13-year-old son of suspected Amba fighter. The soldier is said to have shot dead the people in their home after a heated debate argument with his mother over whereabouts of his father. More details about the killing in Ngwa subdivision only in this edition of the Guardian Post newspaper. We are told that the military commander went in search of a suspected Ambazonia fighters, and he was nowhere to be found, and the military commander decided to shoot the 13-year-old boy who was the son of the alleged Ambazonia fighters to death in Ngwa, as we are told. On to this other headline that has to do with the killing of school children in Ekondo Titi. We are told that PM Joseph Diongute rallies Ndian to condemn massacre of students and a teacher in that part of the country. And FACO division, we are told that 78 lawyers have petitioned government as 500 land certificate application files blocked at the level of FACO land office. More details in this edition of the said newspaper, which is also talking about the reconstruction of the northwest and the southwest regions of Cameroon, where that reconstruction commission has been assisted with 1.2 billion francs CFA coming from the private sector. 2 private companies in Cameroon have decided to give over 1.2 billion francs CFA to the Paul Tasson-led Reconstruction Commission. And the EU Parliament has pressured UN Security Council to put Anglophone crisis on the agenda. This was during a sitting that was presided over in the Parliament, in EU Parliament, and those involved have been called to come to order and stop the atrocities, as we are told. Meanwhile, the United Nations Security Council, according to the paper, has been urged by the EU to pressure or to intervene in the situation in the northwest and the southwest regions of Cameroon. We are back in the studio to join our resource person, who is a human rights defender, Madu Tante, who is always with us here to talk on things or issues of human rights violation. Madu, good morning and welcome.
Good morning once more, Mr. Lasha, and good morning to good morning to the telespectators of my Media Prime Television. It's always a pleasure for me to be here to share with you one or two things together.
When you read the news of a 13-year-old boy that was shot allegedly by a military commander for the mother not providing the whereabouts of the father, what is your take on this issue? This is not the first for people paying for the crime of others.
It's really regrettable that such things are still recurrent, still happening after others have been happening before, yet little or nothing has been done by the government. That's why we continue to say that insofar as the government does not make sure that those involved in such acts are arrested and prosecuted accordingly to impede others.
For how long shall we keep arresting and imprisoning people who commit such acts?
No, the truth
isn't it time we stop the acts?
No, the truth here is that the war is already around us. So we have to, first of all, respect the properties and lives of civilians before now looking for possible ways out of the crisis, because we are already in a crisis. Every day we keep hearing of the one thing or the other. The government keep giving impunity to these people. And when the government does something
is it the government that asks the military commander to
shoot? It's not the government, but the government is responsible.
There was a heated debate between the mother and the 13-year-old.
The reason
is it the government or who asked, or which asked the
issue
guy?
The issue here is that human rights is a reason. It's not very necessary. What is here is the killing of a little boy for no reason. Because there's no justification for killing someone. So you cannot go and kill somebody or say, when I said the government should be responsible is doing that. He said state actors, and once any state actors commit any crime, it's left on the hand of the government. In the different numerous national, regional, and international conventions that the government has signed to make sure that the government call the person to order. Because when the government will punish a said person, another military man or policeman will be afraid to do the same thing next time, knowing very well that what we are punished.
The government of President Pobia just punished those who committed the act in Gabruna.
The government just we have since the crisis started. Let's be serious. We have had more than 1,000 cases as such, but we are going to see only one case that's about. Last time, I think it was equally in some military and defense and security forces tortured a man. We heard that the man, the military were arrested. Up to date, it's almost 1 year. We have never heard anything about that again. So we don't know what the government is going is not serious at all. When a government will take strict measures to make sure that those who are involved in any acts of human rights violation and abuses are prosecuted accordingly, so as to impede others and to avoid doing any such things again. Because when you allow them moving free like that, you give the impetus for others to continue committing such crimes.
Don't you also think that these people are risking their lives in securing the territorial integrity of Cameroon?
They choose that part. When we each and everyone in profession as a journalist, you are risking your life, because sometimes you have some information that you give here and you have calls or all type of threat from people, because in any professional is on threat or risks are involved. So they were the one who chose it. No one forced them into the military. So when you choose the thing as you did, you have to follow it and to respect the ethics and deontology of all the profession where you are involved inside.
Okay, the EU Parliament has spoken, calling on the United Nations Security Council to intervene in the situation in the Northwest and Southwest. Is that a hopeful message, a message that we can hope on that something will be done?
Yes, I think it's a good initiative. These are some of the things that we had been soliciting for.
Just urging, is it enough without taking action?
No, everything, I told you last time here, everything is done on stages. There's something that some people don't also understand. Cameroon is a member of this international United Nations and others. Cameroon has rights as well as responsibility. It has the responsibility to respect the life of each and every one and the properties, same as the Cameroon government has a right as a member of those United Nations and others, and their rights has to be respected to the fullest. That's why all these people always start by condemning, calling for order to rain, calling for ceasefire and others. When you reach to a certain level, when the government have not intervened, that's when they might now use immediate force to intervene.
These very people are the one harboring some of the terrorists, let me put in quote, terrorists. Those who are advocating for such violence in the Northwest and Southwest.
It's true.
And they come at the same time calling for UN to intervene when they have those people with them.
No, that's what I said. It's true. What you are saying is true. But the one thing is very clear here is that those people are to be blamed, because each and everyone has his own responsibility. Those people are to be blamed as well as the government. I think the government has the greatest blame, because it's due to the failed strategy or the failed bad governance of the government that led us to what we are suffering today. Because had there been all this marginalization and whatsoever, we are witnesses in the Anglophone regions and the other parts of the country were not existing, I don't think those people would have done what they are doing. Because what is there is that self-determination is a right. The only problem is the modus operandi, the way they are using in doing it.
When you look
you had the right to fight for your freedom, but use a right way to do it.
When you look at somebody like Tapan Ivo, he has a TV. He named the TV Rebel TV. And every day he's advocating violence, and he's in America. And you say advocating for rights.
That's why I was saying that the responsibility is shared amongst all of them. You might be surprised that at the end of this war, most of them, even those in this government, most of them are arrested and prosecuted. It might not be the fact that they are going out freely now doesn't mean that they are protected, because during war sometimes the law is silent. But when the war will come to an end, most of them will obviously be arrested, be they from the government side or separate side, and prosecuted accordingly, because no one has a right as per se to attack, or like we have schools, children, destruction of dealings and all. They have no right and no justification for such things.
Okay. Gladys.
Ok, merci beaucoup. Les SABC, on parle de la reconstruction du nord-ouest et du sud-ouest. Les SABC donnent 1 milliard de francs CFA.
What interests Cameroonians most, I think, is always this issue of budget. Every day we keep hearing of budget. We have continuously said that this issue of reconstruction of Northwest and Southwest region is very, very important. It's a necessity, but it's coming at a wrong time. We cannot be at war while people are talking about.
That's a company that has suffered a lot. You know, their dreams have been labeled persona non grata in the Northwest and Southwest, and they have lost enormous. They have lost a lot when it comes to their turnover in the Northwest and Southwest. No,
I'm not refusing that. What I was simply I was talking about.
Probably that's their own way of contributing to see that the violence stops.
How are they going to do the construction war? Just last week we heard about Bali. The military went there and burned houses in Bali. In Bali Gam, the separatists went there and burned the market and the palace and others. How will you construct all these things when other such acts are still being done on daily basis? How are we going to do all such things? The security of security now is still very, very rampant.
So the money is useless?
No, the money is useless for the meantime. The most important thing we want now is permanent ceasefire by the separatist fighters and the government. One ceasefire phase. Once the ceasefire, I think they can go about.
What was that company supposed to do? What were they supposed to do?
No,
most of the money into some other thing.
No, we can reserve the money for that to that effect, but I'll do everything possible to make sure that we have permanent ceasefire in this region, because before they can go about with the initiative. We are not refusing that the company should not give, but it's very important. At least it's a good initiative from the company. At least they should keep this money aside and do everything possible to first of all call for ceasefire before we can proceed.
Ok, merci beaucoup. Dépravation de mœurs au Cameroun, le ministre René Emmanuel Sadi en a parlé.
Yes, these new videos circulating on social media. You know, sex video, you know.
It's really regrettable that here in Cameroon we keep seeing terrible things on social media. I don't know if we Cameroonians, we don't know how to use some of these things, because we don't have social media has its own ways of doing things. We don't have to, not everything that has been published on social media. Some of these things, because normally we know that anybody who publishes things or anyone who share it is a crime. All of them should be. Sometimes the government should do everything possible to make sure that all those who share such things or do such things on social media are arrested and prosecuted.
Antique is there, and many other agencies.
You can bear with me that most of these things that are done by the government are always inefficient and always not effective. Sometimes we hear of different laws, but they are not doing anything.
When you are saying that what they have done are not effective?
No, what I'm saying is that the law is a law that is not effective. Most of we have laws that are punishing such things, but it's not applicable, because we have so many such cases, but no one has been arrested and prosecuted. We have not yet seen anything as such. That's why I was saying that the government should do everything possible to make sure that all those who commit such acts are identified and prosecuted accordingly. So when the government does so, I believe that it will impede others from continuing with such acts.
On a vu le sous-préfet de Douala 3e arrêter les personnes qui se livrent dans ces dépravations de mœurs dans les snacks et dans les boîtes de nuit.
The question now, yes, the problem is not arresting. The question now, are they going to prosecute the first the role of the law? Because also we know that when these people are arrested, they go there, we give money. Cameroon, the judicial system in Cameroon here is business now. You go there, give money, and they allow you to go. And
no, how can I say it's business?
No, that's why we know. That's the truth about everything.
And you are coming from that side.
Yes, I'm not refusing. I'm coming from that side. I'm talking after experience. We know what is happening on the ground. We know what is happening. When you have money, you can go ahead and do everything you want to do.
How will you come out of such situation to ensure?
That's why we are saying that we want a judiciary where the rule of the law will be respected.
How do you achieve this when President Pobia is the one appointing magistrates? He does virtually everything. Laws or bills passed in parliament, he has to sign, enact those bills into laws before everything can go on. So how do we ensure separation of power?
Those are some of the things. What
it is constitutional. Everything that President Pobia is doing is as per the constitution. So who do you blame?
No, what we know here that the great philosopher Montesquieu made it very clear that they said that when those who make the law are given the opportunity to apply that law, there will be abuse of power or the abuse of the law. So to make sure that there's real separation of power, we cannot have a system here in Cameroon when the system
is as per the constitution. Mr. Bia is following the constitution.
Mr. Bia is following the fact that he's following the constitution because those are some of the things that are given power by the Constitution. Pardon?
He didn't write the Constitution.
No, he here in Cameroon, the president decide on how the Constitution is
how can you say that?
No, that's the reality. Let's forget about other things. We know very well that all such things are being done by the president. When the president go and change the Constitution, change that.
No, he didn't change. It passed through Parliament, so you blame your
It's the president that is controlling everything. That's why I'm saying that. Why can't we see our private members be passed through our National Assembly of Parliament? It's only something that is coming out from the president or from the ruling party that can go through the National Assembly. If not nothing.
So like why is the ruling party not being patriotic? Why are the members of the ruling party not being patriotic?
The problem is at the top. Once President Probia is not for TQ, is not for the right channel, not making sure that those who are doing outing ultra-virus are prosecuted, as I keep saying. You keep remaining on the same status quo, doing the same thing. We know very well that we are being ruled by leaders whom we think their brains are wine out. So we think energetic young men like Eto is going in for this Fecafoot issue. They should be given the privilege in Cameroon case to rule Cameroon for the moment, because I think the brain of most of these our leaders as wine out. So most of them are no longer reasonable or no longer productive. So that's why they keep doing things waywardness. Backwardness.
Yes, talking about Eto Fils, who is one of the candidates at the upcoming elections at Fecafoot. He was in the southwest region of the country recently, and he had an encounter with a street vendor, a meat vendor on the street, and one of the mayors from the northwest region, Kanyangwai, who is equally a film maker, lambasted Eto for not speaking or having a conversation in English language with the street vendor. Don't you think Eto is Eto qualified to lead when he cannot speak in English or speak English?
No, because the law, whether the constitution of the law of the Fecafoot, I don't think it says for the issue. This issue of language, knowing both language should be a problem, is one of the eligibility condition. First of all, I know to the best of my knowledge.
No, he has to win the hearts of delegates coming from.
But one thing I witnessed about
he is to rule football in Cameroon, not football in the French-speaking part of the country.
No, it's rule football in Cameroon.
Normally he is speaking English. It's just that day he has not spoken English.
What took my attention is not even this issue of language we are talking here. When the talk goes to a region where trouble region where we know whatsoever is going on in the region, it stands and start telling people that it's moving around without security when we are seeing security on the site. To me, it's provocative, because that's another way of telling the world that there's nothing going on in our region. That's what caught my attention on this, because it's unreasonable for a man like Eto who is doing, at least he ought to have made. It's true that there is war, but wherever I am in Limbe or wherever, I'm protected. Not when you go there to say that you are moving free without security. It means that there's nothing is going on. I just tell the international community that all what is happening that we are seeing on daily basis we are saying is fake, or is not, or in fact it's not true. It's not correct like that. We know that at least Eto is a young brain, and we are praying for somebody like him to win the election, even though they are acting out of illegality. Because I know that the court, the tribunal who is in charge of sport, has once more declared that whatever that is happening in Fecafoot to be illegal. So those are some of the problems we have with Cameroon. But if they can do their Cameroon way and do whatever he go with it, I think it will be good for Eto, because I think you can bring something new to Fecafoot.
They are equally a man of the law, and the Guardian Post newspaper is telling us this morning that over 78 lawyers have petitioned government over 500 land certificate application files that have been blocked at the level of FACO land office. And according to the said newspaper, the lawyers are saying that the FACO land office, or in Limbe 1, 2, and 3, the land commission have already approved the land certificate. So what is happening? This issue of land in FACO, have you been able to investigate and really find out what is happening in FACO, this issue of land grabbing, selling of land by administrators and whatever?
Well, let me say I don't have a little better knowledge to that effect, but I will keep saying that our problem, like I rightly say, is always at the top. Because when something is happening regularly within the subdivision or within the divisional level, it's the place of the minister to do everything possible to make sure that he investigates and make sure that orders reign there. But when the minister is not doing so, I don't know if how the Cameroon government is being ruled. Because I know that when there's something like this, you need to contact the hierarchy, let's petition the hierarchy, and the hierarchy should do everything possible to make sure that the problem is solved. Or you give it, because none of them, you cannot be said that because you are an administrator, you just go and sell people's lands because you are an administrator. You have no right to do such thing. The land here does not belong to the administrator. So many of them have been selling, and so many people have been fighting them for selling the land. The issue of land is really a problem in that part of the country, in that division. No, it's serious. It's not reasonable at all, because we keep continuing calling the minister of the state section to do everything possible to make sure that the situation is looked into. The fact is the situation is laid to rest once and for all, so that we can end such things and give the privilege for those landowners to enjoy their land and prevent these administrators who are selling the land from continuously doing such thing.
Okay, thank you, Amadou Tante, for coming. Thank you to Bomotonguina, Gwladys, and televiewers of My Media Prime for taking our time to watch the very first edition of the program for the week, which was produced for us by Christain, Tebong, and we were Bomotonguina, Gwladys, and myself, Lasha. Tomorrow is another day. Bye-bye.